Hello, people. It's been quite a while. Today's topic will be on the rental market. Naturally, a lot of people are complaining about how the rental market is right now. Is there too much fire? Let's take a look. Okay, so whatever I share today is just based on my own point of view, my own research, and doesn't represent any other people's. Therefore, please do your due diligence before you make any decisions. So let's proceed. Why am I sharing about the rental market today? Is because I have a friend who just uploaded not say just uploaded just a short while back. She uploaded the I think it's a one bedder at this newly TOP condo going for $4,000 a month, and there's quite a little bit of backlash. The typical keyboard warriors commenting all their nonsense. Yes, a lot of typical people complaining here and there, but the fact is that she didn't put here because she's trying to ask for a ridiculous asking price. Because later I'm going to show you that these are actual figures that has been transacted. And therefore, she's just showing people, these are the facts. And she's just trying to share market sentiment. And therefore, I find it funny. I'm not here to defend her. I'm actually here to show people that, hey, apparently there are a lot of people who are not familiar with how the actual market is. And they're making a big hoo-ha about, what has been happening because they have no idea what are the actual transacted figure. And here we are to really show what's happening on the ground. So for those of you who are interested, you can go and learn a little bit more about her channel in TikTok over here. Okay, so let's move on. And these are some of the comments that I find are ridiculous. I can't find some of them. So unbelievable expensive. Yes, I agree. But it's been like this. It is like this. Later we'll examine a few reasons on why possibly it's been like this. And who are you trying to scam? Like, as if she's trying to scam people with $4,000 for this. Yes, the space is very small. I agree. Yes, but is she trying to scam? No, because these are actual transacted prices, and just saying that, hey, for this amount of money, you can get this. It doesn't mean that she's asking a ridiculous price, like I said, and not even in Prime District. Yeah, but the thing is, just because it's in Prime District doesn't mean that you will always get a higher rent, because it's not as simple as, your so-called better location in town. It's always gonna fetch you a higher rent. It's always not like this because there are other factors like the age of the property. Because naturally, if you can't expect to pay the same amount for an old car and a new car, ma. It's the same kind of logic, right? I mean, to put it simply, lah, 钱多杀扣. Okay. Based on this logic, actually less than that. I mean, less than that, the size are already hitting this kind of. So you can see a lot of people are actually not, they have no idea what's actually happening, and they are, as usual, keyboard warriors complaining and complaining and complaining. But then again, we know lah, the keyboard warriors typically are just sitting behind the screen, complaining about the world and not making sense of the world, and then whereas the those who actually create impacts are silently working behind the scenes lah. They're just typical world as it is, as usual. You want to talk about REITs counted in Malaysia, then you go and rent in Malaysia lah. Why are you commenting over here this kind of rubbish? River Praise, yes, more than a decade. You also mentioned that it's a decade ago already. I only pay 400 for the entire one bedder. Then go and pay lah, go and stay at NTUC or maybe. You lost me at, she didn't ask you to stay at this channel, right? I'd rather go and stay at Changi Beach. Go and buy a tent from the catalog and go and stay at Changi Beach. And by all means, hope that the police don't catch you at Changi Beach. That's provided you don't even see something strange at night at Changi Beach. Okay. It's very expensive. Wait till a few more months. Yes, few more months it will drop. In the meantime, we wait for a few more months. If you really need to rent, you don't have a place to stay, where are you gonna stay? Stay under a bridge and wait for the price to drop? I mean, if you do have that plan and it's viable for you, then go and sleep under a bridge and let everyone know. And please show a TikTok create an account, show a TikTok, and show everyone you sleeping under the bridge waiting for the price of rental to drop lah. I mean, that will be something. That will be quite a hit. I'm very certain. Please go and do it. I'll be very interested to view your TikTok. And these are some of the prices. You can see over here, the 420 are the studio. Just now, I think the one that should show you is the one bedder, which is just slightly a little bit bigger. And these are the studio. You can see this one. I'm not going to show you the unit number. I'm not going to tell you which department it is. Go and find her for this. You've got $3,600 for a studio. That means, you know how studio is that there is not even a partition wall between the living room and the master room, the only room basically lah. There's not even a partition. And people are really paying this kind of prices. Transacted is not even one unit. These are transacted prices. So 3,003, 3,007, 3,003, and these are fourth floor. And the best part is this guy, 4,000 plus, is on the first floor, transacted 4,000. And if I'm not wrong, this is the layout that she was talking about. On first floor already, people are already transacted at this price. Same goes 4,000, 3,009. You see all the 400 plus square feet? Yes, it's tiny. It is very tiny. I agree. But people are willing to pay because ultimately, when it comes to the property market, whether is it a sale market, is it a rental market, it's always a case of willing buyer, willing seller, willing tenant, willing landlord. And just now the guy mentioning about 2,000 square feet, based on your logic, 2,000 square feet should be renting at 12,000, right? And you look at this, 1,002 already hitting, 1,002 for fourth floor already hitting 8.2. Sixth floor already hit 9,000. You think 2,000 cannot fetch, man? Definitely way more than yourself, okay lah. So please, people, before you comment and make yourself stupid, make yourself look stupid, please do yourself a favor, do some market research before you comment, so that at least you appear intelligent and not make a fool out of yourself lah. But then again, like I said, this is social media where people are just keyboard warriors and commenting things that they think they are expert about, but they have no idea. Well, I mean, those of you who are watching my channel, probably you are a little bit more well informed lah. That's why you're sitting through my long lecture and knowing and trying to learn what is actually happening. Because I'm very sure those on the TikTok channel are more like casuals, have no idea about the market. And these are some of the reasons why the rental market seems to be going strong. And I'm not cooking this up. This was on business time, the 6th of October. You know, some of the reasons why you've got work arrangement, you got more people working from home. They are trying to have more privacy from their family members. They are not happy. You know, the family members always bugging them. My own brother is like that. He retired because he need to work. He needs some privacy, but he's always working from home. And then you've got this kind of thing happening, and that's why he's going to rent out. He would rather pay that money to rent because they can afford, right? And these are actual things happening because I'm seeing it with my own eyes, even in my family. And this is one reason. Then you've got the married or going to be married. Their BTOs delay, but they retired already, or some of them married already because, example, the BTO delayed 1 or 2 years, but they were supposed to get married and they married the so-called on schedule. And what happened? House not ready. What retired already? Because I'm married already, there I want to stay apart, man. So they go and rent. They go and rent. So these are the people. The group of people, and also the HDB upgraders who sell already because they cannot afford to pay the additional buyer's stamp duty. They also cannot afford to pay a 45% LTV since they will be holding on to 2 concurrent loans due to the HDB loan or the one that they want to buy, the one that they're still holding on, provided they want to buy first. So most of us are not able to afford both the ABSD and also the lower LTV, and hence they will have to sell first. And this also contributes to rental demand. The other thing is that foreign students has also increased. These students, they naturally need a place to stay, and hence, yes, they also contribute. Also, foreigners, there are a foreign student, and then you've got the foreigners over here. They've been hired because of this sharp jump in number of Singapore family offices. The Singapore family offices are rich. They are creating a lot of business and hence helping our workforce. But they are also in hiring foreigners, and when they hire foreigners, the foreigners obviously need a place to stay, and hence we know what happens. Then you've got some of my clients, they also mentioned that they got colleagues coming from Hong Kong relocating to Singapore, which helps to boost demand. J Gateway rented recently more than 80% over the previous rent, then this is not surprising at all. You may think, well, you're in Jurong, but the thing is, not everyone works in the CBD, and there are people who work in Jurong, and maybe that guy is willing to pay more, or maybe it's a corporate lease, who knows? I mean, there's no point trying to guess, but it is what it is. All these are published figures. And then you can see is projected to be increasing for the rest of 2022. You've got more than 2,000 owners already kind of unblocked already, or rather not say, unfortunately, unblocked, because most of them are cashing out of their private, and hence they are probably slowly shopping. I mean, since I unblock already, I have a windfall, right? Most of them have a windfall, and not all of them will have very big windfalls. Most of them have quite a bit of windfall. They have quite a bit of money sitting on quite a lot of profits realized already, and hence they are okay to slowly rent and look for whatever they want. Maybe their forever home. And usually when people are looking for their forever home, they'll be taking their own sweet time to wow, I feel good about this house. That's why I don't feel good about this house, and hence I should slowly take my time, go and find a house that I feel I should be feeling good about, and hence this take time. They tend to be more emotional. Also, you've got the talent gap because of the new growth in the sectors. I'm not here to talk about all these growth sector, whichever it is, but the thing is that there will be overseas talent brought in, because and under all these pass the whatever pass recently. And then you've got this one, something that is a little bit more loud recently, the private property owners who cash out of their private properties, which they may not actually cash out. Some of them actually lose money, but they are still considered under the PPO groups, which kena under this cooling measure law. The recent cooling, very recent cooling measures is just about 2 to 3 weeks back. And that's why they are not allowed to downgrade to HDB. And hence, if they still want to go ahead and buy HDB, they have to render 15 months. If not, they will have no place to go. And even if 15 months is that stage where they can start to buy. And we also know that when you start to buy, you from the date that you register, intend to buy, then you finally find a place, you go and put out your OTP all the way to your completion. It's quite some time, and hence it may not just be 15 months. It can be 20 months, because this whole HDB process, if you want normal time, it can be 4 months plus, 4 months thereabouts, depending on how the process is. And hence you have quite a lot of people from all these different groups now there contributing to rental demand. The other case of the example, this one is a 10-year-old. It's not even like brand new. That's not the previous numbers that I showed you. That one is brand new TOP condo, and that one naturally, since it's new, you have a lot of people renting very high, ridiculous rates for it. But then again, let's see. Based on, we don't look at 2022, we look at anything before that, 2021. This 300 plus, just slightly less than 400 square feet unit has been renting on an average maybe about 2,000 per month. Let's see. Recently, you've got the same size. Okay, transacting between 2000 to this one, 2002 years one. Then you got 2005, 3000, 2006. And this one is an increment from the last year's average increment by 30%. And if I go to this $3,000, it's actually an increment of 50%. So if you're talking about J Gateway, where supply over there is still quite little, if you're talking about 80% increment, I am totally not surprised at all. And because there is naturally demand, especially due to a low supply area. The other thing is that interest rate has been increasing like mad. So this chart, I think I showed before previously, but this is the updated version from MortgageWise. So thanks to them for churning out this data for us. Since landlords have to cope with all these increased in interest rates, what will they naturally do? I mean, if they know they are going to face higher interest rates, and they haven't signed a lease yet. They just got their new keys and they decided to rent out. What they would naturally do, or what most people, or even yourself, if you have a unit, you will do is that you will pass the cost to the tenants, because you are not a charity, you also don't want, and you know the market is in your favor, so you'll pass on the cost to your tenants. Therefore, on the landlord side, you've got this is what we call the willing seller, willing buyer situation. You may think that it's extortion, it's ridiculous, but there are people who are willing to pay, people who are willing to rent. And hence, for landlord side, there is a market momentum in their favor. And since they are also faced with rising interest rate, that's why they are motivated to push up the rent, because there is demand in terms of the market momentum. And for tenant side, because there is very limited supply, once you realize this kind of new condos, because it's desirable, it's brand new, people don't mind paying more for it. And we easily you may think it's side by side, but the location about the same much, I don't need to pay that few $100. You'll be very surprised, because given if you yourself and you are actually able to afford it, it's not like you cannot afford it. If you are able to afford it, you may want to sacrifice a little bit, a few $100, but you enjoy everything brand new. So that is the emotional factor part. We've seen for ourselves how emotional buyers of homes can be. So therefore, when it comes to rental, it can be the same thing. That's why people are willing to pay extra a few $100 for brand new one, because you have to use something that you previously used before, and the supply situation is not helping, which is linked to this market momentum on the favor of the seller, the landlord side. So before all these people complain, okay, why the rental so high, why this and that, I think the important thing is, if you are the landlord, you put yourself in the landlord shoe, okay, in the landlord shoe. Will you want to settle for lower rent? Because you feel like, rental so high, I tell you what, I should be the good Samaritan, and I should just um lower the rent so that people can rent at a more affordable rate. My neighbors are renting $4,000. I'm going to be renting $2,000 because I want to make sure that Singapore's rental is not so hot. How many of you will actually do it? I'm very sure 99% will do it, Maybe that 1% you are really good nature. You don't want people to suffer. You want to see on a bigger picture. Yes, you can. But the problem is a large majority is not willing to do this. So before you complain and make all this noise, you put yourself in the landlord situation. If you yourself have a unit that there's a demand, will you be motivated to charge higher, or will you be motivated to do charity and lower your rent so that for the greater good of the society, which is very unlikely. On the other hand, if you are the tenant, you don't want to use something that you don't want to rent or stay in places somewhere that people stay before already, and therefore you're so quite emotional in that sense, which I can totally understand, because I'm also like that when it comes to rental. So I'll prefer to pay a few hundred more to rent something that is brand new, that is unused before, because I can feel that this one I'm the first occupier, and then I don't have to worry about the condition of the place here and there. And that's why when you put yourself in the shoes of tenant, and then you will realize this is why the market is behaving like this. It's not because of irrationality. Yes, it is irrational, but the thing is there are supply factors that are contributing to your so-called irrationality, which in a way is actually quite rational. So before you play the blame game, you blame on the mother, father, religion, sister, brother, whatever it is. Think about the factors behind the scene. And there are people who like to is the agent at fault? Agent go and whack, go and 炒 the market, go and stir the market until so hot. All the agents want to earn commission. Honestly, if the agent, yes maybe they want to earn commission, but how much more can they earn? If let's say at a certain threshold, if they want to dig out the extra $200, but they jeopardize the deal, it is not actually very worth it in that sense, So, and the thing is, ultimately, the one that decides whether to take the deal is actually not the landlord. It's actually not the agent, because the agent ultimately is the middleman. The one that has the deciding power is actually the landlord. If the landlord don't want to take this price, don't want to take a lower price, what can the agent say? If the agent say, hey, please lower, and then the seller, the landlord thinks that, hey, this agent are useless. If then tell me to lower my rent, then guess what will they do? They'll change agent. And that's why when you become a so-called good agent for the sake of the society, and you lower the rent, The landlord don't want you because you are so-called bad agent, you're a useless agent, and then you lose your job. Is it worth it to be your so-called to them? I mean, you put yourself on the agent's point of view. Will you sacrifice your job because you want to for the greater good, low rent out to tenants at a lower rate? You won't because it's your job it's your bread and butter, right? I mean, you have to respect people's profession. Some people think that agents are suckers, they always want to pay suck our money, Well, you can think whatever you want to think, but everyone has their own job. Okay. There are people who earn a lot. There are people who may not earn a lot. And so it really depends. Every industry you have people 80-20 rule. So let's not talk about that. But eventually landlords are the one that decide the final price of the rental. And on the other hand, if you become a good agent for the landlord, you push up the price because you really take care of the client, which is the landlord. So in terms of to the landlord, you are a good agent, and they will be more motivated to re-engage you again and again for future renewal. That means you are doing a good job. But by doing a good job, you are the good agent to your client, which is the landlord. Then you incur all this wrath of all these keyboard warriors saying, the agent are the one responsible for all this rental. Then you realize that actually if I be a good agent for the landlord, I also gonna whack by the community. If I be a good agent for the sake of the society, I also gonna whack by the community. Then what are they? Then these agents, what are they supposed to do? They are supposed to be a good agent for landlord or a good agent for the for tenant for lower rent. You see, both sides they also gonna. So that's why these are double standard. There's a lot of double standard why? Because if you before you complain, put yourself in the shoe of both the landlord, or rather in your three shoes, you have your landlord. Put yourself also in the tenant shoe, and also put yourself in the agent shoe. And then you will see that's why the situation is as it is. Okay, we have a lot of unethical, very, I would say, shitty agents around in the industry for sure. But there are agents who just want to earn an honest living, and they are just trying their best to act in the interest of their client, because ultimately for them it's not about taking care of the society. For them it's taking care of the interests of their respective clients, and that is the job. They only have one job, which is to take care of the clients, and they are supposed to do their job well. Okay, so please don't before you complain, please make sure that you do not have double standards if you put yourself in the shoes of these three parties over here. Okay, and please, that's why, like what I mentioned just now, don't adopt victim mentality, because stop blaming other people here and there. If let's say you are the tenant, you really have to rent a place, then don't expect to rent something that is brand new, and then you still complain about the price. Let's say your budget 2,000 bucks, then find a place that you can that suits your budget, and not why this one new like that in the end I cannot rent a brand new one. It is what it is, I mean, the other way is to go for co-living, go and find somebody else who is looking for rental, and then combine so that you can probably afford something that is a little bit bigger lah. And also those people who are jealous because you could have gone into the market, but you chose to sit on the fence, and end up you do not have this so-called higher rental yield, where now rents are high, and then you complain last time I should have bought this now rental so high why they sell, why the landlord rent out until so high, and then start complaining about the market complain here and there. You realize property has when it comes to this kind of chart whether is it property or stocks investment, they always have ups and downs. But ultimately, if you choose the right one, it will eventually go up. So if you choose to sit on the fence and not take the risk at all, then I think you have no right to complain lah. It's always like this one. At the end of the day, you don't take the risk, then don't expect the reward lah. Because you can complain all you want, but complaining doesn't help. Worrying doesn't help the situation. Okay, so conclusion for today's rental market, I think there's a lot of people playing the victim card, complaining here and there. But people who know the market, who really bother to sit down and understand the workings on the market, how is it behind the scenes, what is actually happening, then you realize that you shouldn't be playing the role of the victim, but actually following the market lah. And like I said, if it's too expensive for you, then go and look elsewhere lah. Don't need to make a big hoo-ha about it. Or what sleep, go and stay at Changi Beach. I mean, it's funny lah, yes lah, it's funny lah. It's not meant to be taken seriously, but some people really do mean it. And then they start cursing the landlord, cursing the tenant, cursing the agent, and curse the whole everyone. It is what it is. The rental market is hot. Everyone and everyone agrees, but it's mainly because of supply crunch. And you realize that if you go and look for rental units on yourself right now, as long as you look at something that is of decent condition, the asking price is still reasonable. It may be higher, it will very likely to be higher than the previous few months of rental, but it's still within a reasonable increment. That is very likely that it will be taken up very, very, very fast, because that is how the market is, and we have to adapt to the market. We cannot be really manipulating the market. Agents are only they can only affect the market in a certain way, but at the end of the day, it's always the buyer seller making the final decision. Tenant landlords also making the final decision, and that is what we have for today. Any other things, please drop me a text and I'll see how I can help, especially in times of this. And you're looking at rental yield, you're looking at where else to put your money in order to invest in the market. Like what we mentioned every time, is always time. There's always opportunities in every time. It's just that how many opportunities are there? So are you able to spot the opportunities? Okay, that is the challenge and why we are here today lah. Okay, yep, that is all, and see you guys. Bye bye.